Group debunks the traditional out-of-Africa theory. Albert Perry's DNA debunks the out-of-Africa theory. The traditional out-of-Africa theory posits that all modern humans evolved from a relatively recent common ancestor in East Africa around 200,000 years ago, and that they began migrating out of Africa approximately 60,000 to 70,000 years ago. According to this model, all modern humans descend from this bottleneck population. However, the discovery of Albert Perry's AZ0Y chromosome lineage fundamentally disrupts this framework. Rather than refining the theory, it renders it obsolete by introducing undeniable evidence that modern human diversity cannot be traced to a single geographic or genetic origin within Africa. Albert Perry, an African-American man from South Carolina, possessed a Y chromosomal haplogroup, designated A00, that diverged from all other known human Y DNA lineages approximately 275,000 to 300,000 years ago. This lineage is not only older than any known modern human fossil, but also older than the estimated time of the so-called Y chromosomal atom. Until this discovery, the most ancient known Y chromosome lineage dated to around 100,000 to 150,000 years ago. A0 shattered that timeline, proving that an entire branch of the human male lineage had been completely unaccounted for in the out-of-Africa model. This discovery cannot be dismissed as a minor adjustment to the existing theory. The entire premise of the out-of-Africa model is built on a recent African origin for all modern human lineages. If a lineage like A0 existed in West Africa for hundreds of thousands of years, isolated from other lineages, then the genetic diversity within Africa is too old and too complex to be explained by a single point origin. This implies that the evolution of modern humans involved multiple populations living in different regions, exchanging genes over long periods, and not descending from one small migratory group. Furthermore, the fact that A0 is found only in Africa and yet is so genetically distinct and ancient raises critical questions. Why does a lineage this old survive only in isolated African groups and in an African-American individual? Why has no other ancient population, especially those outside Africa, shown any evidence of descending from this lineage? The answer is that the out-of-Africa model failed to account for the deep substructure of African populations. In doing so, it grossly underestimated the antiquity and complexity of human genetic variation. By continuing to support a singular migration narrative, the out-of-Africa theory promotes a linear and Eurocentric view of human evolution. It suggests a clean story. Early humans arose in one part of Africa, then spread across the globe, replacing archaic humans along the way. But Albert Perry's DNA tells a messier, more accurate story, that human evolution was decentralized, and that Africa was home to multiple coexisting human populations, some of which diverged from each other hundreds of thousands of years ago. These groups likely mixed, moved, and evolved independently long before any group ever left the continent. In light of this, the out-of-Africa narrative doesn't need revision, it needs replacement. A new model, one that acknowledges a pan-African origin of modern humans, is required. This model would accept that Homo sapiens arose from a network of diverse populations across Africa, not a single group. It would accept that our common ancestry is not a point, but a web, one that includes lineages like A00 that were hidden until recently. Albert Perry's DNA doesn't just complicate the out-of-Africa theory, it debunks it. It forces us to abandon the illusion of a single origin and embrace a model that reflects the true, complex nature of human evolution. A0 to Y DNA haplogroup